Oh, my name? Well, I have a perfectly normal name. It's a completely, it's not one that I'm stalling for time to make up. There was some who call me Tim. And welcome back to Slay the Spire. We're going to be playing Slay the Spire modded with the Infinite Spire installed. I'm not going to be going for another Endless at this point in time for a couple of different reasons. The main of which, or rather the main relevance of which is that I don't really have the time to record an Endless episode at this point in time, but also I don't want to have to build my deck with an eye towards sustainability in future loops. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pump up the difficulty to Ascension 15, and let things like the Void Shards and the black cards and those kinds of things influence what would otherwise be a standard A15 run. I feel like it'll be a little bit easier based on the fact that I have 61 banked and I can just go to Hardy and pick up a boss relic as well as a free relic as well as a card removal as well as a black card. Which is why I increased the difficulty. Cool. Random common. It's probably the only one I care about here. Ooh, Lantern! Start turn of each combat, gain additional energy. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan to the Lantern. I can go for a path that has 2 midline upgrades, 3 elites, but we are in a higher difficulty. So maybe I go 3 upgrades, 1 elite, early shop. Seems a little bit better for me. 14, damn. 14 again? What? How, what? That's a lot of damage. Okay, no 14 this time. Voidling's down pretty easily in the next turn. Ball Lightning. I mean, I am incentivized to pick it up just because it's part of the quest, but also it's up against Doom and Gloom. Really do love an early Doom and Gloom. Get some of that AoE. Nice to have. Charged battery is pretty much always nice as well. Do I visit the early shop or do I try and dodge it? Yeah, I'll visit. Excuse me, I'll visit. Rainbow. Channel 1 lightning, 1 frost, 1 dark. Okay. Okay. I guess I'm transforming this into a deck that it... Oh, I'm not going to heal there. I guess I'm trying to transform this into a deck that mainly cares about orbs. That's okay. So the first upgrade is always Zap and then Dual Cast. And having both of those upgraded this early actually makes me feel a lot more confident about taking out elites. So may actually go for this one rather than duck it. Hey, that'll do. Energy Turbo, Stack Discharge, Hard Pass, thank you. Thank heck we have Doom and Gloom in this deck. We've even got a Block Potion for the next turn. Block Potion plus Charge Battery is like most... Oh, damn. I actually get to full defend that turn. That's wild as hell. Okay, I can full defend if I zap then dual cast, but I don't really care about my score as much as I care about spreading the damage out a little bit here. Trying to make sure that backliner dies by the next turn, even if I don't draw AoE here. Although I do. Neat. I'm gonna strike the sentry in the backline just because now I have 2 chances for the lightning orb to take that out before it actually attacks me. That'll do. I have killed 3 elites this act, as well as gotten the boot. Whenever you deal 4 or less unblocked attack damage, increase it to 5. Focus Potion is incredibly important. I really need some other way to also gain focus as well. Vajra, started combat with 1 strength, as well as a Void Shard. Maybe I go up here. How many more upgrades? I actually have a couple more upgrades left in the deck that I really want to hit. Doom and Gloom, not least of which... Rainbow, because I'm going to be cycling through the boss fight. It works out. And Doom and Gloom for lethal. Beautiful. Glacier. I mean, a lot of what we have so far in terms of orb generation is aggressive. So that'll give us a little bit more defensive. Claw. I do love Claw decks. Pacifist. While this card is in hand, you cannot play attacks. So I'm definitely going to try and mull past that. Pain as well. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to Claw. It deals 5 damage by base just because of the boot, but it's 5, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, I would need more claws in this deck. I guess if I didn't have... Maybe the deck archetype is not yet defined. Because, like, this could also be in a defensive deck with... This is, like, a defensive deck that also has Rainbow and Doom and Gloom, right? It could be that. And then I use... Glacier. I mean, I do have like a lot of high cost cards in my deck at this point. I've got a couple zeros, but I also have a couple high cost cards in my deck as well as the charged battery. I'm very likely to pick up a high cost card after the boss as well. So maybe having claws will help me even out the costs. That said, claws would require me to also add some draw into the deck to really benefit from them. And the best draw that I can get is Skim, but that's uncommon. Scrape is uncommon as well, but that would discard my 2 costs. I'm effectively deciding whether or not I want to sub-theme Claw here or not. I think I do. I think I do. Not super pleased with the decision, but I think it's fine. Maybe even necessary. The necessity is just bred out of the fact that I don't want to end up in... Oh, hang on. Lethal. Yeah. Necessity is bred out of the fact that I don't want to end up not finding any defragments and then just, you know, eating crap so hard I die. Loop. Loop is pretty great here. And also desperately needs an upgrade. Because we have a couple of Dark Orbs in the deck, Loop is very, very, very effective. This is the kind of hand I was worried about. Just complete garbage. I can split the enemy this turn, but they split for 75 into 2. That's awful. So if I strike them, they go down to 75. 75 is the 50% HP point for the slime boss. It splits into 2 smaller slimes with the slime boss's HP at that point. So ideally, you want to overshoot that part as much as possible. This Dark Orb is now getting real big. As long as I can evoke my Dark Orb next turn, and there's 2 cards left in the deck that'll do that, we should be great. Should be gravy, baby. But also, the Lightning Orb will hit the enemy if I don't. Yeah. That's fine. So the Lightning Orb was going to split the enemy even if I didn't get Glacier or Rainbow, but now that I've taken the time, Glacier is so much damage here. Beautiful. Yeah, I feel really confident about how that fight went. Do I pivot back? Pivoting back would be taking Electrodynamics at this point and then going, all right, I guess we're an Orb deck again. Maybe I take Fission. Upgrade Fission as soon as possible. It's another way to evoke my Dark Orbs, but also it's a lot of draw. And we can generate those orbs really, really quickly again as a result of Rainbow. Yeah, I'll take Fission. I usually would take Electrodynamics in that position and then pivot back towards going for a Lightning style deck. Primary reason for that being that the next floor has a lot of AoE, and that can be really, really important. Busted Crown. Gain energy at the start of your turn. Future card rewards have 2 less cards to choose from. Extra energy is really important, and the fights go long enough that Cupcake's extra energy is going to wear off. So I have to take the Busted Crown here. It's too important to me. It's too important to me to turn down. 3 upgrades as well as a late Avadi over on that side. Yeah, that's our path. Only 1 elite as well. I got nothing to prove. I don't have to fight that many elites. Right, so I have Rainbow first, then Claw. That still did nothing. I mean, that's an okay turn. As long as I end up with a Dark Orb out front, then everything's fine. Sadly, nothing is fine. I am yet to get a Dark Orb. Hey, there we go. And that Dark Orb will gestate at a ridiculous pace. Multicast is obviously a natural fit for this deck as well. Can we not do it like this, though? I really just, like, all of my ways to evoke that were in the bottom of the deck. Evoke, 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 evoke. Literally all 5 cards at the bottom of the deck out of a deck of 15 cards were the things that I needed. What are the odds that out of 15 cards, the 5 that you need are all on the bottom of the deck? That is remarkable. Auto Shields is really effective. It's really, really effective. I have a little bit of AoE here, and the... Yeah, I'm gonna fight. Weakening all the enemies on turn 1 for other combats is also actually going to be really important, so very happy to fight here. I was really hoping that was going to kill the frontliner. Oh. It's going to take a ridiculous amount of damage then. That's fine. It's fine. As long as I end up with another Dark Orb in front, I'm set up to end up killing up Romeo. Red Mask at the start of each combat, apply 1 weak to all enemies, as well as another Focus Potion. Recursion should be actually pretty good for this deck. Transform 2 cards. I may actually just transform 2 strikes out of the deck at this point. Multicast and Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike is garbage, but multicast. Really good for us. Yeah, that was all wrong. Should have been multicast instead of zap. Loop, charge, recurse. That full defense me and puts a Dark Orb in the front line that's going to get real big, but am I even going to live? Oh my god, am I not going to live? That's output of 24 damage, 24, 27. I have the Frost Orb and the block here, and that's not going to be enough. Yeah, putting those days in the deck there was lethal for us. 18 incoming, right? 18, 13, 18. Yeah, I take exactly 18 damage. I can survive using a Focus Potion. Yikes. Thank heck there are so many rests on this side of the map. May end up actually dodging the 1 elite that I intended to come over here for. I'm frail this turn, so I block for natural 3. I have to block at least 13 damage this turn if I don't want to die. Rainbow only blocks me for a maximum of 4 if I use the Frost Potion afterwards. So 4, 3, 3 is 10. Not enough. Dual Cast is unlikely to be relevant here. Those defends are very, very small. I feel like I'm probably best served by, like, hard mulling this hand, looking for auto shields and Glacier. Yeah, we're dead. God damn it. Yeah, that's a deck that had absolutely no identity and kept bouncing back and forth between different identities it was trying to provide for itself. Also, it's been a long time since I played Defect in High Ascension. I may have also lost my touch, let's be real. It's the most likely part here. I could kill an elite for free, but removing 2 cards from the deck is pretty neat. Pretty neat. I think I will, actually. Gonna strike and a defend out of there. We're only an A15. I can still run a little bit of the thin deck tactic. I accept 1 damage this turn just so that I can make sure that I kill the next turn. Charge battery. More than happy to take it. Ooh, those 2 random early upgrades, especially if that had have hit dual cast and zap, would have been ridiculous. There's a defragment. I think I have to take it. That and cool-headed, in fact. Yep, too good to turn down. Both of the other starter relics are better for us. Yeah. Drawing 2 additional cards at the start, especially considering the deck is relatively thin, means that we can be really, really consistent with our draws. Enemy in the front line is weakening me this turn, but that only decreases my damage to 4 per strike, so I know that I'm still only a strike away from killing that enemy. Or Lightning Bolt. From the lightning we have. Great. Another enemy down. Claw. Deck is already really thin. Do I now take Claw? Like, Defragment Cool-Headed is my... It's a little bit of a draw engine as well as a little bit of defense engine. Pair that with Claws. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, that's the direction I'm going to go. Obviously, I cast that immediately because for some reason I thought I still had the cracked core. That's not what I have. So I'm going to zap then do that. Yes, that's more like it. Alright. Goodbye, Laos. None of these, right? If the deck was thicker, I'd take FTL, but the possibility that I cycle back into FTL after using FTL is just anti-value. I do want to fight at least one elite this floor and get that late shop, so my path is pretty defined here. Claw? Auto shields? I'd happily take auto shields. Recursion, machine learning, don't want Writhe. Don't want recursion. Do I want machine learning? Drawing an extra card per turn is really good. Claw is a deck that ramps up, so actually, yeah. Claw is a deck that ramps up, so the downside of, you know, machine learning being relatively slow to actually impact the board because it doesn't draw a card when you play it, that should be offset over the course of long boss fights, especially. Emotion Chip. If you lost HP in the previous turn, trigger the passive ability of all of your orbs at the start of the next turn. That's pretty good in a defensive deck. Pretty damn good in a defensive deck, Dan. It has to be defragment, auto shields, and machine learning here, as well as claw, I guess. But who's the boss? Okay, it's Hexaghost. So I do hold the liquid thorns for the Hexaghost. Liquid bronze, the thorns potion. Okay. Seems like double defends zap is the answer here. I don't use the dual cast because I will take damage this turn, so I'll trigger zap twice. And the fight, I suspect, will be long enough that I will end up triggering it enough times. Yeah. It's cool-headed first. Pretty happy with how that went down, though. Definitely dual cast this turn. Again, we are bleeding real quickly here. Thankfully, the Hexaghost is going to be less impactful as a result of it. Damn it. I'm trying to leave the possibility the frontliner just dies to lightning now, so that I could possibly pivot to the backliner in the next turn. Oh well. Yeah, the lightning was never going to cooperate with me there. Apparently. Drawing an extra card per turn has obviously paid its way here. Quite easily, in fact. I'd love a chill in this deck. Chill, what's it called? It's cold sweep? Something. It's not cold snap. It's, the one what helps you out early with the frost. We'll see it when it comes up, hopefully. Another auto shields is too much. I could consider that leap though, but why take leap if I could just take more? Why take leap if I could just take more charged batteries later? That's what I was looking for there. Defragment needs to be upgraded, so does Zap, but Zap actually may end up getting removed from this deck. So it's a low priority upgrade just due to the fact that maybe it gets out of here. Who knows? At least I can full defend this turn, but also having, yeah, both of my orb generations on the bottom of the deck there was really sad. One attack. Two. I was trying to do as many attacks as possible for the sake of the pen nib. Weak potion. Hell yes. Okay. And another claw. Another claw. No. Let's seek. But hologram is effectively another claw and a little bit. Maybe it's another claw if you want to consider it that way. Freezer. At the start of each combat, channel 1 frost orb. I would love to have that as well. But I can't. Now, what makes me sad? Some of those up and pass our way forwards. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, we have no AoE here. Okay. 12. One of you does die to 12, so I'll kill you. Defend as much as possible. Thanks. This drains us of so much HP. Okay, machine learning. Gonna hollow back the claw. Okay, rest of my deck has another claw. So this deals 5 damage. The next one we deal 7, but 7 modified by the fact that I'm weakened, so 5. So I've got 5 and 5, as well as the ability to deal 4. Okay, so I can take out the Spike Slime here, the Spike Slime small. Oh, I also have double damage on my next attack. Okay, that's something I should have considered. Oops. That'll do for there, I guess. Let's charge battery defragment for some more defense. Interestingly enough, the enemy is now only going to be dealing 6 damage on turn 2. That is the Hexaghost enemy that I'm talking about there. That's pretty good. Could be worse. I've still got to decide whether or not I rest before the boss. Because I'm feeling like I just want to upgrade the hologram. I'm going to do it. The fact that I have the ability to weaken the boss as well as use liquid thorns here makes me feel pretty confident in doing this. I really want that cool-headed out there, though. So do I not hologram this turn? Yeah, I don't hologram this turn. Then we weaken the enemy next turn. No incoming damage. Yay! But stacking these cool-headeds as early as we possibly can is like the most important thing that we can do here. I don't think I want Zap in this deck. It takes up a place where a Frost Orb can be. Yep. I think I'm actually at the point where I will be cutting the Zap from the deck. And this is definitely a primarily claw-based deck at this point. The claws are ramping out of control right now as well. Damn. Ooh, double damage claw coming up. 34 damage. Now that's a claw. Now that's what I call claw. Sick. I have enough defense in naturally, right? I full defend there because like attacking the enemy would have done nothing. The enemy had so much block. Cool-headed in claw. Damn it. Claws are all at the bottom of the deck. I'm gonna hollow for a cool-headed and then try and get a claw. Hey, we get one out this turn. Beautiful. Just means that both of the claws are not exhausted for the next cycle. Well, I mean, they are now, but we didn't know that at the time. Beautiful. We actually perfected the boss there. I am so glad I went with the upgrade beforehand. None of these. They don't do what we actually want them to. Fission gets us the draw, but like, I mean, it gets us draw and energy, and then we use the draw and energy just to play more cool-headed. So I guess it can kick us ahead. The problem is Fission takes a while to warm up, right? So it has to be like used in my second cycle. And in my second cycle, hopefully I'm already in a stable position so that I can actually do the whole claw engine thing. I think I take nothing. It's definitely not Velvet Choker. It could be Coffee Dripper. We are fairly defensive. However, Inserter, every 2 turns gain 1 orb slot. The more orb slots we have, the more of them are filled with Frost Orbs. We have 0 costs attacks in the deck. I mean, a couple more charged batteries in here, and I don't think we need extra energy from a boss relic. We'll take Inserter. This also gives us the flexibility of adding Consume to the deck. And then letting Consume provide our defensive engine while we ramp our claws. This whole floor is garbage. Like, all the paths here are really bad. I am not pleased to be here. Damn it. Let's quickly constrain the mouse. Have a look at the deck. This can't fight a nightmare. I don't think this can fight a nightmare. So that means this path is out, which was the best one. 2 question marks, rest, and then 3 question marks, another rest, and a late elite. However, I can go for a path that has only 1 early elite, but it's got the late of Hari. Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah, we'll take that. We're playing this mod so that we can do things like exploit of Hari here, so only makes sense. Always happy to put an enemy on the ground, especially when they're about to buff there. $22 is a still pretty good amount of block for that turn. We only end up taking 7. That's surprising. Okay. It's defrag, machine learning, defend, and then hollow back the defend, right? Yeah, then hollow back the defend. So that'll full defend us. Not great, though. But now we have all of these frosts set up. So while the enemies are scaling, I don't think they're going to scale as quickly as we will. That said, heck, it's close. All right, one down. Unless I'm putting an enemy on ground, I may as well not bother. Yeah. This is why the inserter is really important to me. This exact kind of turn. Our Crown of Frost. Just constantly protecting us here. Fine. We'll actually play a Lightning Orb. Ugh. Only if I have to. On the ground, then pull back a claw for the lethal. Yeah. So the damage we take is pretty much always in the setup. Glacier is good here. Barrage is also actually a surprising, like, really, really good amount of damage for us. But it's a really good amount of damage for us late. Glacier is defensive, and we do need... Like, literally what I was just saying before that was, okay, so we take damage in the early part of the fight, and then we can equalize and then get ahead in the end because of our scaling and because of the inserter and because of the amount of frost swords we get out there. So I just need something that helps me with that early section. That's Glacier. The problem is Glacier also costs a little more than I'm willing to pay for it, but it happens. That's a full defense. Well, some extra energy for the next turn. I honestly don't think that I can kill them. Again, it's we're slow in the early game and quick in the late game. Yeah, this is always going to be a problem. Oh well. It happens. It happens. Go for the ice. I mean, it's a low-cost attack. Helps me even out the energy cost per turn, as well as being really, really defensive. I am sad that we can't take runic capacity here, but if we can't, we can't. Charge battery and hologram both make sense. Do I also take barrage? No, because by the time barrage is good, claws are really, really good. Fine turns through and through from my enemies here. I'm very, very glad that they haven't swung for the fences yet. Great. Double damage on the next attack. That would matter for a barrage. Doesn't really matter for anything for us, though. Okay, then I'm going to hologram the clawback. Hologram the clawback. Now, we're basically fully defended against the shelled parasite on most turns. Just... one sec. but just based off of our Crown of Frost here. I'm gonna take all of the extra energy for the next turn. I really do need something like Skim in this deck for drawing those low-cost cards. And also another Claw. Oh my god, can I not always have the Claws on the bottom of my deck? These Cool-Headeds need to be upgraded as well. They do need to be drawing 2 cards. It's just not a tenable position for them to not. Claw. Hologram back. Claw. Love it. Poison Potion as well as All for One brings back all the claws. Too good. Too good to pass up. Not a giant fan of this. Like if we just get bad rolls here, we could just die to this Neko. I'm gonna hologram back the Claw again to try and ramp that as quickly as possible. Maybe I should have thrown out the Poison Potion earlier. Yeah, I think I probably should have. Oh, God. This is awful. Fine. Oh, that's a lot of damage to take this time. Well, All for One's at least decided to be useful that turn as well. Much appreciated. Cool-headed here. Alright. Alright, we should be able to get ahead at this point. Beautiful. That'll do it. Goodbye to the Snecko and hello to the Gremlin Leader. Unfortunately, we were already on this path before we realized that this was probably a suicide. Hollow the Claw back. Use the Claw, hollow the Claw back, use the Claw, and then kill the Fat Gremlin. Killing the Fat Gremlin means the Gremlin Leader is not guaranteed to attack on the second turn, which is what I'm banking on here. And yet they still do. We're like extremely deceased now. No two ways around that one. All right, so I didn't do the math. Sue me. Do I want the extra energy next turn or a little bit more damage? Extra energy next turn. Should be much more impactful, especially if we end up with Glacier in the same hand. We don't. That said, Hologram should now be bringing back claws that can single kill targets here. That's pretty good. I think we're still just dead. So I gave myself 8 block there. The enemy is coming in with just under 42, right? 42, 47. Yeah, I couldn't have won this. So I couldn't have killed even if I went all for the backliner with just claws and stuff and then hollowed back the all for one and went for the backliner still. Which is the thing that I was most concerned about. As in, like, oh, is this something that could actually help me? No, not really. Not at this point. So I just saved myself 12 incoming damage. Neat. And it's time to die. I actually think I could have lived through that fight. Specifically with pulling out the weakness and instead of going for cool-headed. But the cool-headeds is... Did the cool-headeds not end up giving me the hologram that I used for the weaknesses? Those two cool-headed not being upgraded was actually way more impactful than I thought it was going to be. Like, to the point that I think the hologram upgrade may have wanted to go on cool-headed instead. Although there's not that many other upgrades that I committed over the course of that. Damn. So yeah, unfortunately, this was one of those paths where you have to commit really early to whether or not you're going down the path, and then you're just straight beelines down it. And the fact that I had, like, the birds that took a fair bit of my HP, and then the muggers that took a bunch of my HP, and then the Snecko that took a ridiculous amount of my HP just before I ran into a boss was bad. Bad. Yeah, I think with better management of that last turn, I would have been able to survive that turn. I don't know if I would have been able to win the fight. But at the very least, I may have limped past, somehow gotten past these two combats as well. I actually honestly don't see how I would have lived. Damn. Well, for the moment though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Damn It. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully next time we'll get to Apari.